Okay, you're at the Watchman Way. June 22nd, 2020. To start tonight, first brief overview on the Watchman and the Watchman Way. I was called by God in 2014 to be a watchman, to warn about the first ever worldwide economic collapse, the worldwide draining of the swamp, and the exposure and eradication of satanic pedophiles, as well as physical silver and Litecoin as ways to protect ourselves from the financial disaster that we're in the middle of. So since 2014, I've been on this mission 7 days a week, pretty much, 16 to 20 hours a day, virtually every waking moment since 2014. I've been doing this. In January this year, God called me to lead the revival of his church called The Way. It's the church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago. Purest form of religion I've ever seen. Keep telling people to prove me wrong. No one can. It's very simple. It's very basic. There's no priests. There's no popes. There's no hierarchy. We're all equal. We're all the church. The church is in all of us. It's how we live our lives every day. We do the right thing every time. We tell the truth every time. We live our lives in the service of others. We treat others with respect. There's no violence unless it's in self-defense. Our donations go from our hands directly into the hands of the needy. There's no middleman. There's no Vatican to skim donations. It goes directly to the people that need it. God also showed me in this year the Catholic Church collapsing from the inside. The Pope is going to resign in 2020. The Catholic Church is going to come down in 2020. 1.2 billion Catholics will be looking for a new home, and the Way will be waiting for them. God also showed me that by 2040, the Way will be the biggest religion in the world. People are starved for this. Christians leaving their churches by the thousands because they're dissatisfied with the messages they're getting from their church, the direction of their churches. God's not happy how we use the Bible. It's not meant to be a weapon. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of people use it today, to attack or judge others. We're not judges. God judges, not us. Anybody who's trying to show you a passage in the Bible that tells you that God wants us to judge others, barking up the wrong tree. I'm not going to get into the whole issue of the Bible tonight, but you can go back and look at past. We've got a lot of video to watch. We've got like 500 hours of live chats now. Most of those you'll find on our websites. The two websites are thewatchman.co, and then we've got all of the videos now. I think most of them transferred onto thewatchmanway.com. Also, we've got a lot of good info there, videos that we recommend you guys watch, especially the new people, to get up to speed about what's really going on. You're not going to find this stuff in the mainstream news. So that's just a brief overview of what we do. Physical silver and Litecoin. This economy is on its last legs. We have days or weeks before this whole thing tanks. All paper assets are going to go to zero. You need to get as much money as you can out of your bank, out of your 401k, stocks, bonds. You got to get money into physical silver and Litecoin outside the system, because the system's going to collapse and everything inside the system's going to go. Leaves you very few options. Precious metals or cryptocurrencies are the two most obvious. Litecoin is a cryptocurrency. Silver, obviously a precious metal. Because that's where the money's going to flood once this thing goes down. Money will pour into precious metal markets and cryptocurrency when everything else tanks. You got to have your money out of the system. At least, a few $1,000s to protect yourself. It's insurance against what's coming. Your bank account, you're going to lose it. Your house, you're going to lose 80% of the value. The good news with what's coming is that there's going to be a reset at some point. There's some discussion about, Nasara. If you haven't heard of that program, look it up. Nesara, Nasara. Do a search on it. I am on the fence. It might happen. If it does, pension funds could be saved. Don't gamble. Extra food, extra water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver, and Litecoin. If you have those things, you will thrive through this rough patch we're going to have. If you don't, you're going to struggle a little bit. I don't think anybody's going to starve in America. Around the world, it might be a different story. President Trump's on top of this. Now, obviously, the more of us that are prepared, the easier this is going to be on everybody. So don't be lazy. Don't depend on other people to get you through this. And the thing is, you shouldn't want to, because this is the greatest financial opportunity for middle class people around the world to get a leg up. This is going to vault people from lower middle class to millionaires pretty much overnight, over the course of a couple of years. Some analysts believe Litecoin will be worth $3 million by 2024. It's under $50 today. I think that estimate's conservative. There's only 84 million Litecoin in the world. That's all there ever will be. There's only 19 million left. 66 million or whatever it is have already been sold. Don't miss the boat. This is going to be the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Take advantage of this gift from God, because for us to be this late in the game and the prices to be this low, again, Litecoin under $50, it should be over 100, way over 100. And the same with silver. It's under $20. Going to be 1,000 by the end of this year. Don't miss the boat. Whatever you're going to invest, put half of it in Litecoin, half of it in silver. Give Kevin Owens a call if you have any questions. All the websites of where you can buy silver and Litecoin will be in the comments section after the video. But get a hold of Kevin Owens if you have any questions, 702-325-9258. Okay. I also want to talk a little bit about, how I do these chats. Basically what I do throughout the day is I kind of develop an outline, a really rough outline, based on what I see in my research throughout the day, looking at videos and news and what's happening around the world, and kind of decide the things I want to cover for that night. But once I start, and again, this is basically a one-page outline for an hour show. Basically what I do is I start with the outline, and then I just let God take me where he wants to take me. Last night was a good example. And so just so you guys know, sometimes I will start one place on a topic and end up way out in left field. Know that I just, it rolls. It, however it comes up to me, is how I tell it to you guys. So I know sometimes it might seem like I'm getting off track, but I'm not getting off track because this is where God wants me to go. So there's usually some pretty good nuggets in this stuff if you're paying attention. Just to give you some background, because I think some people sometimes think, because I had a stroke last year, hemorrhagic stroke, and it disabled because of it. I'm partially blind on my left side, and I had some cognitive issues with dates and times and things like that. And sometimes I lose my place. But I think sometimes people think that it might be my stroke issues showing up when I do that, but I'm letting that happen. I'm letting God take the topic wherever He wants to go with it. So just to clarify. The other thing I wanted to talk about tonight was something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. And it's, and not just lately, but it's really, I think important where we're at right now. It's easy with everything going on right now to focus on the fear and to focus on the negative. And throughout this journey, I've learned that, and not that we have to talk about some negative stuff sometimes. Part of doing this job is talking about the negative things that are coming. But our focus needs to be positive. Focusing on the negative brings you negative issues. If we take a different tack and focus on the positive, we can still cover the negative issues, but with the positive twists that are coming out of this. Because let's take the economy, for example. You look throughout history, economic collapses are not pretty things for the people, usually, right? Times of great devastation. This one isn't going to be like that. This is the greatest financial opportunity for us, for the people, for the common people. This is going to be the greatest opportunity in human history for us. So with all of this going on, everything you see in the news today, and again, you shouldn't be watching the news, but if you read the paper or whatever, you're going to see a lot of negative stuff. We don't need to focus on that. We can focus on this opportunity. We can focus on all of the good things, the swamp being drained. It sounds horrible when you tell people, oh yeah, well, 3 former presidents are probably going to be executed. It's a good thing. This evil has to be eradicated. The satanic pedophiles. Yeah, it's horrific, the things they've been doing, but they're going down. So by focusing on the positive, you flip this whole script. And positive, when you focus on the positive, more positive things are going to happen. I think that's what we need. That's how you get out of fear. That's how you get out of that fighting, that internal battle you have when you're going through this stuff. And you kind of know what I've been talking about and that there's nothing to be fearful of. But then you think about these kids being tortured and murdered by the most powerful people in the world. We got to focus on the positive there. Yeah, it's horrific what's happened. It's ending. That needs to be the focus. Don't focus on, trust me, I learned this the hard way. The stroke almost killed me. They didn't know if I was going to make it through the night. And that was all because I was internalizing that knowledge of what was happening to these kids on a daily basis. 800,000 kids a year in America alone. Think about that. That's not a mistake. For several years now, 800,000 kids a year go missing. And it's not because they got lost or fell off a cliff and nobody found them. It's because pedophiles have been taking them off the streets. Satanic pedophiles. Do we focus on the satanic pedophilia, or do we focus on the fact that satanic pedophilia is ending? That it is going to be eradicated from the face of the earth? That 90% of the evil is going to be removed from the earth? What should we focus on? It's your choice. You know, you can choose what angle you want to take here. And if you take the negative angle, and I'm speaking from experience, because I had my stroke because it was nonstop for weeks, and I could feel it. And the thing was, it got to the point where it was like my blood was boiling. I didn't check my blood pressure at all one time during this because it never dawned on me that's what was happening. That it was building up inside of me, and it was just nonstop, focused on the kids and what was happening to the kids. And had a hemorrhagic stroke that almost killed me. Left me disabled. You know, I'm not disabled, but by their definition, I am. The funny thing is, I lost a few things because of this, but I gained a lot more. My intuition, my connection to God, the messages increased after the stroke. It's like a total change in how not a total change, but an adjustment to how I perceive things, how I handle things. Made me slow down a little bit. If you look at some of the videos from the beginning, I would really get on a roll, and sometimes just because it was so, because I'd had all these hours of research, it was easy for me just to rattle this stuff off. But to the members, it was coming too fast for them to absorb sometimes. And not that I don't do that once in a while now, but I've learned that I need to slow down so that people can get what I'm trying to get across. So to me, I wouldn't change anything about how this has gone for me. It like I've said over and over, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but the most rewarding thing I've ever done, and I would do it again in a heartbeat, no question. You can't. It's hard to describe the feeling when you change someone's life. And what we're doing here is not only changing lives, it's changing the world. Getting people red-pilled and prepared. You will never, in your lifetime, you will never have another opportunity like this to have the impact on people's future like you do right now. Just think about this. You can take a janitor and that janitor invests a couple $100 in Litecoin, he's a millionaire in 4 years, as opposed to living on, a $1,500 or $2,000 a month pension fund or Social Security. Think about the difference in that guy's life, especially if he's somebody like me in their 60s, and maybe they don't have a lot that they were able to pay him, whatever the situation. That's life-changing money for people. And think about the people who can put in 1,000 or a couple of thousand, and that changes their whole family for generations. If you can put 3, 4, 5,000 in Litecoin, nobody in your family is going to have to work for 100 years. And look what you're going to be able to pay forward to put towards the foundation of God's church, the way which we've talked about. That the watchman donations are going to be considered building the foundation of God's church, the revival of God's church. You can't, hard to describe the feeling. What I can tell you is once you get that feeling, you want more of it. And it becomes like a good drug that you want to do this for everyone you know and as many people as you can. Because, my opinion, I get more out of this than the people that I'm waking up. Or as much at least. Try it. A pretty amazing feeling. But the main point is, now is the time to push. Because my timeline, based on a lot of things we're seeing right now, is that sometime between now and mid-July, this is all going to blow up. That it's probably going to be announced about the arrest, people like Obama and Clinton. And I think the economy is going to come down, or a reset will be declared. In a reset, basically all debt's going to be wiped out. Anything you owe is going to be wiped out. Anything owed to you, pension funds, bank accounts, probably all going to get wiped out. Now, Nasara could change that a little bit with the pension funds being saved. Don't chance it. Extra food, extra water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver, Litecoin. Get those things. You'll thrive through this. If Nasara happens, it's icing on the cake. You'll just have more to pay forward. That's the way to think about this. So, think positive. Stay away from the fear porn. Anytime you start having those negative thoughts creep in, shift gears. Get on to something positive. Get your head in the right place. Trust me, you'll feel a lot better every day if you do this. And you'll find that positive things are coming into your life when you focus on the positive. Something hit me last night. We know that the deep state swamp, CIA, Illuminati, cabal, swamp, whatever. One of the things they have been very good at is the psychological warfare in this process. They've been brilliant, and one of the reasons is they've been working on this stuff since the Second World War. MK Ultra, look it up. Mind control programs, predictive analytics, where they can, by studying us, It's eerie, scary, how accurately they can predict our moves in different situations based on what they see when they track us. Understanding what buttons they need to push, right? To get us to do certain things, to hurt us, basically. It's really interesting that President Trump has kind of used that psychological angle with what's happening right now, with letting these globalists, these traitors, governors, mayors, expose themselves. And he's doing it, I think, for a couple of reasons. One, to get the Democrats and liberals to see what they get with a socialist Democratic Party. And we're seeing thousands every day leave the Democratic Party because most Democrats are moderate and they're not liking what they're seeing on the streets right now. On the flip side, what's happening is, and you're going to start to see this grow if President Trump doesn't send in the National Guard or the Marines pretty quick, it is causing a spark in patriots who are fed up with these people taking over our streets. And what's going to happen, you can already see it. If President Trump lets this go another 2 or 3 weeks, the patriots are going to take the streets. We won't need the Marines. We won't need the SEALs, because the patriots are going to step up and they're going to start lining the streets with their ARs, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. The thing that Antifa has already learned, fighting patriots isn't the same as dragging old ladies out of their cars and beating them on the streets. Antifa is getting their ass kicked all across the country. And now they're starting to get shot. And it's only going to get worse from here on out for them, because there's going to be more patriots on the streets that are armed to the teeth and ready for whatever Antifa wants to bring. That's how we're going to take back our streets. If President Trump wants it to go that way, we are very close. This isn't going to be a civil war. This is going to be a massacre. Because if they want to come, they're going to go back. They're going to go home in body bags. They have no idea the bear they're poking. It's there was a movie about a crazy grizzly bear. It's going to be a crazy 50-foot tall grizzly bear on steroids who's indestructible. That's what they're dealing with. You know, who's got all the guns? Who's got all the military training? Who's got all the militias? It's not Antifa or BLM. Like I said, they're really tough when they're beating up old ladies. But when the patriots decide they've had enough, and like I said, it's already happened. You know, Boise, Idaho. Look at Yucaipa, California. I think they might have already scrubbed the videos, but I watched it 2 weeks ago. Antifa rolled into town. The people kicked the crap out of them on the streets, beat them silly, and they ran out of town. Boise, they heard that Antifa was coming from Spokane, where they just tore up Spokane. 300 patriots lined the streets with their ARs. Antifa pulled into town and pulled right back out. It's not going to go well for them. They don't have the numbers. I think we've already cut the head off the snake. The money's drying up. It won't be very long now, and they're going to realize this is not what they thought it was. On top of that, they're also finding out that the crap they got away with in the past, with their looting and their burning down of our cities, this time, because now they're designated as terrorist, domestic terrorist, 10-year sentences. No more slap on the wrist. So you got 10-year sentences now coming at you, and pissed off patriots. And your money supply just dried up because they cut the head off the snake. You're not getting paid anymore. How long do you think this is going to last in this environment? I keep telling you guys, there is nothing to fear. God and President Trump are 100% in control. Nothing is going to change the course. There's nothing these people can do about what's coming. And the end is coming for them. Jail time, execution. No one is going to escape justice. Whether you're a pedophile or a BLM thug, you're going to get the justice you deserve. America and the world are returning to the rule of law. 500,000 are going to be arrested worldwide. That's happening this year. It's going on right now. I think it's going to be announced in the next couple of weeks. Mid-July, I think. It's all good, guys. No fear. No anxiety. Nothing to worry about here. Everything that's happening is for our good. POTUS commits to second stimulus. No time frame on it yet, but we'll see how it plays out. I think that might be tied into the reset somehow. Zero Hedge headline, is it time to bench Fauci? Yes. Time, well, but here's what I think is going to happen. I think, like I said, in the next couple of weeks, this is all going to come out. There's going to be some big changes. I think that's when Fauci gets chopped. And Gates. He's very close to dropping the hammer on this thing. And to me, our first finish line is when either President Trump or Barr announces the arrest of Clinton and or Obama, and then it's just going to go from there. Like I said, 170,000 sealed indictments nationwide. It's on the DOJ website. You can look it up for yourself. The average is 3,500 a year in America. There's 170 plus thousand. 500,000 worldwide. This is going down, guys. After the biggest rally since 1933, J.P. Morgan finally tells its clients to buy U.S. stocks. Now? Really? When it's about to collapse. These guys are brilliant. You know, don't sit out the big recovery, and then get in when it's about ready to crash. Morons. Texas virus hospitalizations see biggest jump in more than 2 weeks. So what? It's the flu. So the biggest. Oh, it went from 100 to 120. When have you ever seen the worldwide economy shut down for the flu? Because when you look at the statistics, when you look at the facts, this virus is less dangerous than the common flu. That's a fact. Look it up. This whole thing is falling apart. It's all fear porn. They're losing control of it. Nobody, I mean, It's a good example here in Arizona, or in what is it, Maricopa County, I think, covers Phoenix and a few surrounding cities. They went back to wearing masks, and I was out today, ate lunch, nobody but the and that's everybody. So if you go into a business, you got to be wearing a mask. None of the customers are wearing masks. The employees are, which is fine. You know, they have to for their jobs, no problem. People aren't buying it anymore. You know, when I first got here in Arizona a couple of months ago, everybody had their mask on. Now, even after they tried to reestablish it, nobody's buying it. Everybody sees this is garbage, it's bullshit. And the mask, listen, the Surgeon General's come out twice in the last 2 months and said, don't wear a mask. You're breathing CO2, carbon monoxide, CO2. You're breathing your own waste. It's not good for you. It causes some of the things, I think one of the reasons they want us to, is because it's going to up the totals, right? They're gonna claim pleurisy, which is basically what you get from wearing a mask. They're gonna pass that off, or what their hope is to pass that off, is more cases of the virus. I think more people are getting sick because these are the people who've been wearing their mask. Take off your mask. Enough's enough. Don't. And I know people that are elderly and not that healthy that are afraid, so they're wearing their mask and they won't listen to you. They're just making themselves sick. Don't fall for it. POTUS extends green cards and visa freeze until the end of the year. You know why? Because by the end of the year, all of the globalists are going to be out of the government. And he can do whatever he wants. Here's another joke. Biden commits to 3 debates. Well, I would love to see him. I think that Biden's going to be in Gitmo before he can ever debate President Trump. So, again, maybe they can do him from Gitmo just for entertainment purposes. But wouldn't you love to see that? I mean, this blithering idiot can barely put together 2 coherent sentences. Barely. Think about it. I just watched a campaign ad. You know, they got those little like 5-second blurbs they put on YouTube of Biden. He fumbles 5 seconds. He can't get it straight. I mean, how hard is it to get 5 seconds worth of script down? He's either got Alzheimer's or Kuru disease. It's a joke. Stocks, gold, oil, and virus cases soar. Another Zero Hedge headline. Yeah, whatever. It's the flu. Soaring means that there's 100 more cases. That's what they consider soaring to be. All fear porn. Don't buy that crap. Running out of time. U.S. soybean farmers disappointed as China goes elsewhere. They're buying it in Latin America. Imagine that. More socialist countries started by central banks and the Illuminati cabal, globalists. It's not going to be a problem for the farmers because I think we're going to be in food shortages here pretty quickly. So I don't think anybody's going to have any trouble getting rid of their crops. And, you know, I'm not the least bit concerned about the trade war with China. Not an issue, really. for most Americans. The magnitude of the second round of job losses won't be apparent until after the election. That's a good thing. and honestly, guys, you know, people are trying to say that if President Trump doesn't play this right, he could lose the election. I'm going to tell you right now, there is zero possibility that President Trump loses the election in 2020. Zero. I don't care what happens. President Trump wins 2020 a landslide. I don't care if the economy collapses. I don't care. I don't care if China doesn't buy anything from us. I don't care. Doesn't make any difference. President Trump wins in a landslide. 90% of the vote. Not even close, guys. Don't worry about, you know, and there's a lot of people talking about this crap. It's done. The election is done. Doesn't make any difference. Don't worry about the election. You got to vote. I'm not telling you not to vote. What I'm telling you is there's no way President Trump loses 2020. And we want everyone to vote to show not just America, but the world that things have changed. China warns India, if fired upon, our troops are prepared for war. There's not going to be a war between India and China. Again, it's more fear porn. Get you worried about something else. Get you distracted. Oh my God, we're going to have a world war. 2 nuclear powers are going to go at it. Not going to happen. Not going to be a war between India and China. More fear porn. More distractions. Don't fall for this crap. Gold nears breakout as Goldman upgrades precious metal on debasement fears. Yes. They have to jump on this bandwagon now. They don't want to wait till it starts, you know, a couple of weeks ahead of time. Then they can say, oh yeah, we told you so. They've been telling people not to buy precious metals for 10, 20 years now. Now, 2 weeks before everything blows up, oh yeah, buy gold. Hacks. They're nothing but hacks. Oh, Longo, the U.S. is in civil war and why Berman's firing matters. This sounds like fear porn, but what he's talking about is basically the war on President Trump. And then you can't deny that. There's been a war on President Trump since he declared. Almost 5 years ago. And where am I here? Because there's an important part of this. Shoot. Basically, I'm getting my headlines mixed up. Okay. So yeah, they're saying what I've been saying for 6 years now, almost 6 years now. Well, except I'm saying don't buy gold. Nothing wrong with gold, but silver's going to outperform it at least 10 times. So buy silver instead of gold. You'll make more money. Here comes yield curve control. The Fed is about to unleash a mind-blowing stock rally. Yeah, they're going to pour more money into the system to jack the stocks up to, again, get this through to where President Trump wants it so that he can... Listen, the economy is going to come down. Either it's going to happen naturally, Deutsche Bank goes and brings everybody down, or something's going to happen and bring the economy. There's 50 different triggers that could take the whole thing down worldwide. Or we get a reset. It's better if we get a reset. The reset is going to be less panic, less chaos if we do a reset, as opposed to an organic collapse because Deutsche Bank went belly up and then drug everything else down with it. That's panic. If President Trump comes out on Monday morning and says, you know what, this pandemic, we had to shut the worldwide economy down for 4 months and it destroyed the economy, we've got to declare a reset. That's a whole lot different than waking up Monday morning and going to get gas and your credit card doesn't work and then finding out that your bank's closed and we're in the middle of a worldwide financial collapse. That's where you get panic. That's where you get chaos. If it's a declared reset, President Trump comes out Monday morning and says, hey, listen, had to do it. This is the plan. A whole different vibe, right? A whole different perception by the public and a lot easier to get through. And I think that's the way it's going to go down. There's where I got screwed up. Let's see. So basically, in one of these headlines, they're talking about how this thing boils over into the fireman of Berman, the attorney, U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, which covers Manhattan, which covers Wall Street. Well, that's why they're saying that was so important, because it's like they're going to cut the head off the snake. Because how do you think Antifa, BLM, they're getting their funding through all those globalists in the big money in New York that are funding these guys. Well, this is how you cut off the head of the snake. You get the U.S. attorney in that district clamping down on these guys, following their money. They just arrested Omar's son was one of the Fab Four, the Freak Four. Her son got arrested in a Antifa raid. Well, they're domestic terrorists now. So you got warrants, you got arrest, you got documents seized. They're gonna find out, if they don't already know, who's funding these organizations, and the funding will stop. Like I said, they'll cut the head off the snake, and I think that may have already happened. But how many of those guys living in mommy's basement are going to go out and possibly get beat up or shot when they're not getting paid? None of them. It's over. Like I said, I think by the middle of July, all of this is done. The mask, the whole phony virus, the riots, I think are going to be done by mid-July. We'll be on the road back to normal. Obviously, it's not going to just happen overnight, but all of the garbage is going to be done with, and we'll be able to focus on the recovery. $102 shot, 14 fatally in Chicago. How's that gun control working now? Jesus. We are watching the end of gun control. Guaranteed. This is the end. I expect President Trump to put out an executive order soon. If it's not through an executive order, it'll be through the Supreme Court. we're going to go to constitutional carry nationwide. That's going to be the rule of law. We're going to go back to our Constitution. All these overreaches by these states, like California, limiting, your round capacity. We're seeing the reason you need 30 round clips. Because if you get drug out of your car by 8 or 10 guys, you got 10 rounds, it might not be enough. This is why, all these jackasses. Well, what do you need 30 rounds for? We're seeing, again, President Trump is showing us why we need 30 round magazines. Because you might be outnumbered. God forbid, but if you are, I want a bunch of 30 round mags. Keep shooting. That's why you want 30 round mags. People are sorely misinformed about the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment was never about target practice or hunting. The Second Amendment has always been about standing up to a tyrannical government, which we had for maybe the last 25 or 30 years, up until President Trump. Our founders would say that any small arms that our military had, that the American people should be entitled to own. We might go back to that. There are many countries in the world where citizens carry fully automatic weapons. I personally don't think you need them in a bad situation, in a firefight. A lot of times I think it's a lot of wasted rounds. You're probably better off being slower and sure. Now, obviously, there's some cases where you're surrounded by a lot of people. Fully automatic is what you need. There's no reason that there's a lot of people who have those licenses where they can have, there's tens of thousands of fully automatic weapons legally on our streets today for the people that have the right licensing for them. You ever hear any of those issues where one of those guns got out and a bunch of people were slaughtered? Never happened. If it did happen, it would have been front page news for months. There's no reason why we shouldn't have fully automatic weapons as law-abiding citizens. That's what our founders would say today. Because if that's what the military has, that's what your government has, that's what you should have. We'll see how it plays out. I don't think it's a real important issue, but legally, I think it's something that needs to be addressed. U.S. home sales plunge to 10-year low as exodus from cities accelerates. I've been talking about this. We're going to see a huge resurgence in a couple of things. We're going to see the biggest spiritual awakening in mankind's history over the next year. Number one. And then the other thing we're going to see is the revitalization of our rural communities. The globalists have been pushing for years to get us out of the country and into the cities. In America, their plan for America was 6 cities. 6 major cities in America. That was it. All the people in America were going to live in 6 cities. Half of the land in America now was going to be off limits for human use. Yeah, you can go look up maps. This was the globalist plan. Humans could not step foot on 50% of the land in America. That was their plan. And then 25% was going to be limited use for humans. That was a globalist agenda. Pack us into cities. Keep the country, the beauty for the elite. We are going to see the rural areas come back. I think there's going to be a huge exodus from the cities into the rural communities. There's no better place to raise kids than small town. Exactly what needs to happen. It's a better way of life. You know, get rid of the big box stores, shop local. We're going to have a lot better country. And world. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, let's go to questions. Boy, man. I've been talking a lot lately. I've been going long every night. Okay, let's see. What we got for questions here? I'm going to try and get through these quicker tonight, guys, so we're not here all night. Tessie, how you doing? Ryan. Deborah, hello. The Durham investigation. I don't think anybody's going to follow the Durham investigation until they start talking about arrest. And you know, President Trump, I don't think wants to talk about it yet either. Cindy, hello. Joan. Cops are going in now in Seattle to dismantle the Summer of Love. Chops. Oh. Yeah, let's see what happens there. Yeah, liberal mayors in Texas, they got to be a dying breed because I can't imagine there are. You know, I know Austin is obviously pretty liberal, Dallas, but there's a lot of small towns that are liberal that surprise the crap out of me in Texas. Yeah, they need to get a lot of pushback in Texas. Dennis brought his puppy to the vet and got diagnosed with the virus. I don't understand that. Were they you trying to save money? What's going on there? You're going to the vet now for your own personal health? Yeah. So the death rate is 0.006 for the virus in America. And that's not taking out all of the thousands of deaths that they falsely claim were the virus, that were a heart attack or died in surgery or got run over by a truck. You know, originally in the beginning, every death that came in, it was a virus death because the hospitals were getting some crazy amount. I heard a couple of different numbers, but 30 or 40,000 for every virus case they had. Yeah, it's all, listen, this is a very simple argument. When have we ever shut down the worldwide economy for the flu? Never. It will never happen again. It's ridiculous. I called this 4 months ago. I said it was the flu. No worse than the common flu. Less dangerous than the common flu. BJ's asking, would the Watchman restore, replace the monuments and statues that were destroyed? You know, that wouldn't be an initial project, I think, because we're going to need to be more humanitarian. I'm worried more about the people to start with. Not that down the road we wouldn't do something like this. I think that President Trump is going to do this. I don't think we're going to have to. I think President Trump will. We're not going to let these assholes take our history away from us. President Trump's not going to allow it. Dioxide, that's right. Yeah. I figured it out, I think. Tommy, how you doing? Ray Lynn. Yeah, I don't think they've announced any dates yet. They just agreed to 3 dates. I don't think they picked anything out. I honestly don't know. Uh, I don't know if there's going to be a debate, guys, because I think before they could get one scheduled, this is all going to blow up, and Biden is probably going to be a gitmo if he's not already dead. Poppy, where is Poppy? Poppy, come here, Poppy. No, not you, Poppy. I got the dogs coming. Poppy was just on my, like 20 minutes ago, was on my notepad again. Yeah, debate for Gitmo. That's what I told somebody earlier. Gonna have the debate from Gitmo. Steven, what's up? Yeah, Biden is not all there. Shelly, how you doing? Shelly just planted a garden. Good for you, Shelly. Good job. Keith, what's up? Uh, Deborah is saying, are you talking about Jill Biden? Who are you talking about, Deborah? 85 and breezy for Dennis. He's got the chat blaring. They can hear it from a block away. Let him hear it. Let him hear it. Good job, Dennis. Listen, guys. Joe Biden is a satanic pedophile. He has tortured and murdered children. His wife is no better. She has tortured and murdered children. You're going to find out in this process the wives, for the majority, the wives were worse than the husbands. They ran a lot of this crap. The wives did. So don't feel bad for any of these wives because they knew exactly what was going on. Remember, guys, there's a couple of things you can do to spread this word. Share these live chats everywhere you can. Number one. And keep red pilling and preparing, guys. The other thing, invite all your friends to the Watchman and the Watchman Way pages. If you go to the Watchman or Watchman Way pages, there'll be a little invite button. You hit that button and all your friends list will come up. Invite every single one of them. Now's the time to do it, guys. This is a numbers game now. The more people we can get in here at the end, the more people we're going to get red-pilled and prepared. Yeah, I heard that Biden's winning in the polls, just like I heard Hillary was winning in the polls. Yeah. Yeah, no, the dog didn't eat my homework. Rosie, what's up? Raylyn, what's up? Yeah, this is going to be interesting. And easier than I thought. You know why they're doing this, really? Why Seattle's doing this? Because the Hells Angels said if it's not done by the 4th of July, they were coming to take care of it. So we'll see. These mayors are, first of all, they've got no authority to be doing the things they're doing. Um, they probably should all be prosecuted. Well, listen, if the police don't do it, call in the militia. The militia, I'll guarantee you, there'll be 10,000 guys there in 24 hours if they put a call out. And that would be over in a few hours. I don't care what kind of weapons they have. They have no idea what they're dealing with. They have no idea what they would face if they really got into an armed confrontation with patriots. It would not go well for them. It would be a slaughter. Lisa, how you doing? Everybody should be thanking Lisa. She does a lot of work for the Watchman and takes a lot of pressure off of me. Tiffany, hello? Yeah. Stephanie says that she'd love to shoot one just for the experience. I hope you're talking about the SIG P365 SAS and not an Antifa member. A Gatling gun. That is a scary weapon. Those minis. Oh, man. No, thank you. I don't want to be in front of one of those things. 50 cal. Oh, God. It's bad enough in 30. That'll take a house down. A 50 caliber Gatling gun will take a house down with enough rounds. I'd like to do that to Obama's birthplace. Take it down with a 50 cal Gatling gun. And then burn what was left. Well, thank you, Lena. Chris works for a major home builder in Arizona. Record home sales. Chris, it's short-lived. I know what's happening right now. Mark my words. Housing values or home values are going down 80% over the next couple of years. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. Ghost cities in China. I know a lot about them. There's two theories here. One is that China knew that there are big earth changes coming and big parts of the world's population was going to be displaced, and they were setting up cities for those people. That's one theory. The other theory is that they were doing this to fuel their economy. They had all this money, right? And they wanted to keep the people working. See, I have talked about this. China's got over 2 billion people. They got to keep those people fed. They got to keep them working. So that's the other theory, is that just to keep people busy, they put them to work building cities that nobody was ever going to live in. We'll see how it plays out. But Brother Dale, what's up? This is my little brother, Dale Bohan. Lance, what's up? Jerry and his twin brother Gary. Good night, Lance. See you, Dale. Uh, I used to sleep when I was well up until 3 4 months ago. I slept 4 hours a night since I started this. From 2014 up until 4 months ago, I was sleeping about 4 hours a night, 4 or 5 hours. Um, when I did sleep, I mean, I'd fall asleep right away. Now I'm sleeping probably 6 or 7 hours a night. But I got no trouble sleeping. I sleep like a baby. Um, you know, I think in the first years I was sleeping just because I was so tired. Now you know, I don't have those, and part of it's because of the process. Since I had the stroke, I kind of had to change gears and adjust what I was doing, so I wasn't internalizing this stuff, and that helped too. I think. Melody, how you doing? Patricia, hello. Good night, Dennis. Roxanne, how you doing? Lena's saying there's reports that an autonomous zone is being built in D.C. Yeah, good luck with that. Costco still demanding mask. Yeah. Leave your nose sticking out. Johnny's been watering his garden. No problem, Johnny. Get that garden watered. Take care of that garden. Tiffany, what's up? Joan, how you doing? Oh, yeah, the gun. Okay. I'm glad, Stephanie. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay if they're trying to hurt you or your family. It's a whole different ball game. Yeah. Keith's talking about old rodeo buddy about he's up in the Northern California sticks in Weaverville. Nobody's got the virus. It's this is a it's all fabricated, guys. It's all fear porn. It's all about getting President Trump out of office. That's what this whole thing's been about. It's not going to work. Destroy the economy, kill as many people as they can, label them all as virus, blame it all on President Trump, win the election. Oh, and get mail-in ballots because you can't go vote because it's too dangerous. Not going to happen. No mail-in ballots. President Trump wins in a landslide. End of story. Eileen, how you doing? Good job, Melody. Melody just got all moved into her new house. Beautiful. Michael, what's up? Trump, Raylin is saying that Trump just now removed all media by Secret Service. If you're still here, Raylin, please clarify that. That sounds like it could be the precursor to 10 Days of Darkness. Good night, Michael. Okay, guys, that's all the questions. Um, Remember, we have to consider every day we get now as a blessing. Every day matters. Every day means we're getting more people red pilled and prepared. Nobody wants this to end more than me, but let's use every day to get somebody else prepared for this. We got to push through to the end. It's that simple, guys. Stick to the plan. Red pill and prepare. I'm going to leave it there for tonight. End it with our prayer. For God and country, amen. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.